The show is about to start. Places. The show is about to start. You have to show a look, have a look, or give a look. Faces. Beautiful. No one ugly allowed. Are you ready? Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. It is me, Morgan, your Miss Gay Pennsylvania America 2024. Hello out there in the world of excellence. I've missed you so much. It's been a couple weeks, but we are here back to give you more excellence. It's time to get down to excellence. But before that, I just want to keep you up to speed on what's happening in Pennsylvania right now. I am so blessed and so over the moon. We have in total 7 prelims to get the contestants to compete for Miss Gay Pennsylvania, which will be in November 16th at Sunnybrook in Pottstown. Tickets are going on sale ASAP. So please check out Miss Gay America, excuse me, Miss Gay Pennsylvania America.com, because you can get your tickets ASAP, because I can tell you it is going to be the show of the season, because we have so many top competitors and they're just going to wow you. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time, please hit that share button, because the more people you bring in, the more excellence we spread. Speaking of excellence, I just want to point out that we have now completed 4 of my 7 prelims this year, but don't worry, there are 3 more coming up. But I just want to give out a shout out to my girls who have just got their spot and their ticket to go to Miss Gay Pennsylvania and compete for the crown. So let's talk about the girls. We have Miss Gay New Hope, right now the reigning Katrina Escalarza. We have the first alternate, which is Jayla Rosemore. For Miss Gay Central PA, we have Anita Dixon, and the first alternate is Nikita Sin Monroe. Miss Gay Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we have Lucy Moth, and the first alternate is Ziamara Via. We also have, we just got our crowned Miss Gay NEPA PA, whom is Trixie DeFlair, and her first alternate, Calliope. So shout out to them, because they have competed and got their ticket, and I'll tell you, I was impressed the entire time. They've been watching the videos and taking their notes, I'll tell you that right now. So if you're looking to compete or you want to watch, we have 3 more prelims coming up. This Saturday in Harrisburg at the Temple Fire Company Ballroom on Saturday, July 27th, we have the Miss Gay Harrisburg America pageant. So definitely come check out and support. We also have on August 17th, Miss Gay Gettysburg America. And finally, to wrap it all up, last but certainly not least, we have Miss Gay Pittsburgh, PA on August 31st. So we still have a lot to go, and I'll tell you, you're not going to want to miss them. So if you're not doing anything, you want to come out and show your support and your excellence, check us out. But now, speaking of excellence, I'll tell you right now, I am very excited and on the edge of my seat to talk to the person tonight who's going to give us all the dish and the needs to know about how to compete for Miss Gay America, if not more so, Miss Gay Pennsylvania America. When we were watching the intro video, we heard a fabulous song about Miss Gay America. Well, guess what? We had the person who wrote that song and got it made to have a nice brand for America. Now, if it wasn't, I want you all to put your hands together. I love her so much. She's amazing. She's talented. She is gorgeous. She's going to give you the tea tonight. Put your hands together. I love her so much, for Miss Andorra, former Miss Gay America 2019.
Hey!
Hello there, Angel. How are you?
Hi, Michael. Hi, Morgan. What's going on?
Not much. I am just here, just hanging out in a blazer, just doing nothing. I thought I would hit you up and bring you into my world a little bit and pick your brain, if that's okay.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I have been watching the Miss Pennsylvania system for 25 years, like I told you in a little briefing that we had before. So I used to live in Maryland. I live in New York City now. Mm-hmm. And we used to travel to Pennsylvania every single year. Every time Miss America came in to Pennsylvania, everybody from Maryland we didn't have Facebook back then. So we would just drive to see Miss America or see contestants and see all kinds of the entertainers that Pennsylvania would bring in. So
I love it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's really fabulous is that Pennsylvania is also coming out to Maryland a lot too, which I think is amazing, because it's just a sisterhood. It's just a love for America, Well, welcome once again. We have gone through, so this is episode 7, I think. Ooh. I think it's 7, but regardless, 7 is my lucky number, so this is going to be a good one. I feel
great.
But so with the episodes that we've done, we've gone through every category that a contestant that will be scored upon. So we went through personal interview, we went through on-stage question, we went through gown, and we went through talent. We also had at the very beginning, Tatiana Vaucher and I went through a little bit about how to pick a prelim, what's best for them, what works for them. And so this way you're already setting yourself up for success. before you even start your journey during on the America Road. So what I would love for you and me to do tonight is to kind of go through, I want to go through talent first because your talent is very unique. And I think it's important before, we get into the other things. I want you to go through a little bit about your inspiration for your talent. When I say your talent, I'm talking about your winning talent that got you to be Miss Gay America 2019. I did my homework and I did watch it. It was amazing. And I was just in awe. So do you mind if we just start off a little bit right now with, can you just give a quick snurp about what your talent was and then kind of your inspiration for it?
First of all, I think I wanted to do something that I've never seen before. And my favorite part about any type of drag is fashion, of course. And I was like, how can I get the audience to go up as many times as I possibly can? Because I'm no big surprise here, I'm not a dancer. So there's no way I can't just like do a floor drop or do anything to make people scream. But, they do scream during a reveal. So I was like, how many reveals can I do in one talent? So that's where it came apart. And then I think it's 12 or 13.
It was a lot. It was excellent. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, and that's where it came and I worked with my friend Michael, who's an amazing music producer, and he made the Andorra song. He also made the Miss Gay America song. He had the singers and all of that stuff, and he mixed it all on his computer. And I worked with an amazing team in Chicago, the Chicago dancers, and it just all came together like a dream. Yeah,
it was a dream. Like, it was really cool to watch. And I just, like I said, I didn't know much about what your talent was. And I ended up watching it last night. And I'll tell you, it made sense why you were Miss Gay America 2019.
Thank you.
Because it was just so original. And that's what I always like to talk about when people are viewing and watching and the needs to know is that try to be the most authentic that you can of yourself. And you said it perfectly. You picked a talent because you love fashion. So you did fashion. You gave everybody fashion, which is brilliant. And then you made your costumes.
I made all my costumes. Yes. I made all my costumes. I mean, sometimes you don't make everything, but I gathered them all together. Like the boys' blue tuxedos, I purchased them all and accented them and rhinestone them or whatever. They also changed 3 times, and my feather fans changed color.
I did see the feathers change. I don't remember if I saw. Did you change your hair at all?
I changed my hair. Yeah.
Like once, or was it because
just once?
Okay, all right.
That's the only time. I could only figure out how to do it once.
It was so good. It was so good. So if you're watching, or if you're watching later on when we're done this live, definitely go check out Andorra's 2019 Miss Gay America's winning talent. It will blow your mind. It's just, like I said, it's so original. And you said it great too. And this is why I wanted you, not only because you're super talented and you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the America system, but you did something different. You don't have to be a trained dancer. You don't have to be a trained singer, right? Because I'm neither of those either. And so it's just about honing in on being true to yourself. And the moment, because you can see it on stage, and I'll just use you as an example. When I was watching you, you were lit up. You smiled the whole time. To me, you did not seem nervous. You were just doing your thing. You were just so excited to just put yourself out there, and it shows. So,
I mean, you have to be well prepared to become a title holder. I feel like the most well prepared person is going to end up winning. So don't make it the second time you've done that talent. You know what I mean? It should be very, very well rehearsed, and it should just flow. Just the only thing that you have to get up there and do is have a good time. So if you guys are still selecting your talent music, weeks before the competition, I knew I was doing that competition long before I ever ran for my preliminary. So
now, did you have your music already laid down before, like that at that point, or did you just have the vision?
we had all the counts laid out and where we were going to do the costume changes in the 7-minute time allowance.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Which you brought up another great point, because I really want to go to the some of the basics of what I've already gone through in previous episodes, but talent is now only 6 minutes.
Yes.
So, which is interesting because I've been spoiled because you get the 7 minutes, right? And you get that extra minute to kind of tell a story, so now you got to do it in 6 minutes, which is fine. It just pushes me to challenge myself a little more, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think yes. Sometimes I think people do go a little long.
Sure, it depends. Right. Right. It depends on what story you're telling. Sure.
Because I used every second. Don't worry. I used every second of the 7 minutes. They had to speed up the talent a little bit so it would be.
I get that. That was my Nurse Morgan talent. Like I had to push things down, which it was hard to do because you just love every bit of it,
Right.
Okay, so let's get in. Okay, so so you did your talent. We're going to break it down just a little bit more. So you created some content and you hired somebody to help make the lyrics, right? And help put down the track. Is that?
Well, he's my best friend, Michael. So stick with hang out with famous people, hang out with people that are good at their job. You know what I mean? Make friends with these very talented people. I'm very lucky that 2 of my very best friends, one of them is a photographer and one of them is a music, he actually does cheer music. He makes cheer music for a living. So
that's fierce. I cannot wait to meet
really lucky.
I cannot wait to meet them. This is going to be great. No, I'm just kidding. But so for people that are watching and then maybe they don't have the resources to do that, what would your advice be? Let's talk about, just for the pure fact of maybe let's clean the slate. What would your advice be for somebody that's like, I don't dance, I don't sing. What am I going to do? Right? What would you tell a new contestant that came to you for advice?
I mean, what brings you joy when you're on stage? Start there. What is something that the audience really responds to when you're on stage doing whatever you're doing? Are you funny? Are you elegant? Are you really great at lip syncing? Find your passion. And then usually when people do what they love, it shows and it's good. You know what I mean? Because it's not work. It's not hard. It just comes naturally because you already love it. And you don't mind practicing 1,000 times because you're in love with it. You're going to know it by heart because it's in your heart.
Sure. So as a judge, because you've judged Miss Gay America, you've judged other prelims and such. And so when you're watching someone's talent, do you think so I picked something that I'm so passionate about. I know the song. I've listened to it since I was 12 years old. The Whitney Houston singing in the bathroom. And, I get out on stage. I have my cute outfit. Now, is there a difference between too confident and just being confident? Meaning where you look, I'm trying to think of the word instead of saying you're confident, you're overly confident. I don't want to say the word I want to say.
Can you be overly confident? Maybe you can be overly confident if you didn't bring it. You could be super confident, but the rest of it needs to show all the way through the talent. You know what I mean? Don't be overconfident lip syncing to Whitney Houston, a song that we've all seen before. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right,
also, be humble. If the talent calls for overconfidence, then yes, be that. But if the confidence, most, there should be joy in there. That it should be just staying one way the entire time is not the best way to be. You should.
I love that.
Start out humble, move into confidence.
Sure.
It should be a roller coaster ride of emotions for everyone.
And I think that was and I think that's very good advice for somebody watching. And I think that you kind of took me on a different path, meaning yeah, it's okay to be confident, but don't be flatlined confident the whole time. Yeah. Build up to the confidence and show your confidence at the end. I like that, and I appreciate that because you're kind of like getting the judges a little more like, I want more, and then you're giving it to them, and then they want more, and you're giving them more. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, you shouldn't be a one-trick pony. So I know that there are people that are very, very confident and in themselves, and that's a wonderful thing to be. Sometimes it's false confidence, and they
Sure.
just try to exude it like a queen or a a princess or something. They try very hard to be confident, and that looks fake.
Sure.
It's much better to show a roller coaster of emotions, though, in talent instead of trying to be overconfident.
In your face the whole time. I totally get what you're saying. So just a couple more with talent.
Mhm.
What was I going to say? So you've judged talents. So is there one thing that you look like? Is there like when someone says, okay, you're going to judge tonight and you're about to watch all the talents? Is there one thing that you're like, I look for this, like to see it? Like
I look for creativity in something that hasn't just been done 1,000 times.
Okay.
I don't think that a contestant, I mean, you're great at this. I mean, you do a completely original talent. So I don't think change it up. Change it up. You can do a song everybody does or everybody loves, but it really needs to come with a twist that really makes it your own. I mean, think of what Beyonce does. Of course, she samples people's music. She just did a Dolly Parton.
She
made
did.
She made it her own, though, right? I
Yeah.
mean, take something, borrow something from somebody, because that's really what drag queens do. They borrow music, borrow something from somebody, but you really, really have to twist it and make it your own.
Sure. You actually gave me some very good advice, and I don't know if you remember this, but this is when I competed in Philly before the pandemic, and you had said something to me about because it was just like a one track, right? It was just a one track, and I did a little number, and it was cute, but it could have been done at a bar. Like it could have been just a regular number. You hit play and you do it. It's about giving it that elevation of production.
Absolutely.
And I really took that, and not in a negative way. I took it as I was motivated to be like, you're right. Like I can do more. I have more creativity under my belt here that I can create something. So
to me, pageant is your very best drag. Like if you're going to enter a pageant, this is to make you nationally known. So if you feel like you can be nationally known by doing a flat number, but I know everybody has it, and gay people are very, very talented. We've seen lots of things. We're known to just love pop culture. I mean, the things that go through our brains are far beyond any straight person, I think.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand, because you know what, I think it's our way. We're showcasing our creativity in our own fabulous ways, and there's nothing.
Definitely do better than a regular song, for sure.
Yeah. So I'll leave you, or I'll ask you one more question with talent. So is there any talent that you can recall, not yours, someone else's, that really stood out to you as something like perfect, like a good talent?
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Besides Nurse Morgan Helps.
Oh no, not yours.
I got it. I know you're watching me.
I love your talents. But I mean, a lot of have you guys ever seen Luscious's talent when she won? Okay. So when Luscious won, it's really like now I'm like slapping myself in the face because she just did Last Dance. Yeah. Just flat Last Dance. So I'm telling, I mean, Luscious she used the entire stage and was an amazing dancer. And I remember when I was a little drag queen watching that.
Wow.
I was like, wow, yes. Also, my drag mother, Sabrina White, has some amazing talents. Yeah. I don't love her Reba talent, but I loved her Wonder Woman talent, and I loved her, like, it was Eartha Kitt. She did Eartha Kitt. I love that one. Katia Lee Love, when she won, she's 2020. She's 2000. If you want to look it up on YouTube. And
so I kind of just want to steer real quick and say, like, so I before I chatted with you, I didn't watch your talent. I didn't know
Mhm.
what your talent was. I heard good things about it, but I never watched it.
Mhm.
And I watched it last night, and I was going to actually play a little bit of it while
Uh-huh.
in the live, but I strategically am not because I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay.
People can hit the link of your YouTube, but not only to watch that fabulous talent, but it also brings you to recommendations, and you can see all these other fun talents from previous years too.
Yeah.
So you can kind of go down this fun rabbit hole of watching these talents, and you can get some inspiration from that too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, is there anything else that maybe you want to like throw out for talent, or do you want to? Should we move on to something else?
I mean, I just want people to know, like, to become famous, you can't do something that somebody else already did. That's just what I want to hit home. You know, you're not going to be famous by repeating a talent that somebody else already did.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that's really what a drag queen wants to be. I mean, even above being Miss Pennsylvania, above being Miss Gay America, we want to be nationally known. We want to be bigger than we are right now. And to do that, really come up with an original idea.
Sure.
So,
and when you're doing that, you're just being your authentic self anyway. And that's going to take you to where you want to be anyway by being your authentic self. So it's kind of a win-win in the whole grand scheme.
yeah.
And the judges aren't being bored by the same number that they saw
Right.
4 other times seasons ago.
Or not necessarily that you won't win doing a copied number.
Sure.
You know, like, you
Sure.
could, but you'll feel so much better about yourself when you build something
Sure.
from the ground up.
I hear you 100%. All right, I have some notes here. Okay. Let's see. Let's go into, for fun, personal interview. Okay. So let's pretend you are going in for your personal interview.
Okay.
You look absolutely fantastic and very GQ, like you do this evening. You're just getting ready. And I never talked about this, or I did not talk about it when we talked about it on episode 2. But for someone who's never been in the system, can you paint a picture of what it's like before you go into the room? Like why you're waiting for your turn?
Okay. So, I mean, I'm usually nervous, so I'm usually pacing around a little bit, making sure that I have all of my bullet points for my bio. I'm thinking about what I think the judges want. What a symbol of excellence is. I sometimes appear to be snotty or overconfident.
Who are you?
I try not to be. Yeah. Yes. I try not to be. I'm not like a go up and talk to somebody type of person. Like, I'm not like I don't think that I'm a blabbermouth. Like, I'll go up and just be, hey, and spark up a conversation with people. I'm not that type of person. I'm always kind of in my head. I'm very observant, so I'm just observing everything all the time. So, yeah.
So you're pacing, you're doing your thing. Now, a lot of time, now I know that dressers can be with you while you're waiting, right? Before you go into the room, but the dressers cannot be in the room with you.
Right.
I'm kind of breaking it down for anyone who's not been in the system before, or just a reminder for those who have. So things that I always like to do for myself as well, I like to make sure that the dresser helps me out and make sure I'm lint rolled, things are in place. If I'm doing my hair differently, I want to make sure it looks right. Make sure I'm not chewing gum. Those reminder things that the dresser may help me with, because I do the same thing you do. I just kind of walk around pretending like I got it together, but I'm really thinking about things like my bullet points, like you said. And I want to talk about that real quick, because the bullet points are not like a rehearsal narrative of the whole 7 minutes of your personal interview. The bullets, what I'm assuming you were saying about your bullet points of your bio, is when you walk in and you say hello, the head judge will ask you to sit down and tell you a little, and then ask you to say a little something about yourself.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that's what you meant as far as bio.
That is.
And so, and I always like to encourage that when you're getting those bullet points together, remember, this is not your 7-minute monologue. Right. This is your 30 seconds just to give a splash about yourself. So then the judges have something to go off of to ask you questions, because it's not about just reading questions off the paper. Anybody, the judges can do that, but when they ask you questions about something that you brought up, they're interested, and
Right.
you said something different than they're hearing in other interviews.
Right.
And I love that. And and what I like to try and do is I challenge myself and change my bullets, right? My bullet points, because I could say, I'm a nurse, I'm this, I have a charity, I do this. If I say it every time, they're going to be like, okay, we get it. We heard that. So I try and change it up a little bit. Plus, it helps me look within myself and figure out what I have to offer, right?
You're not 5 bullet points. You're 1,000 things. Complex person.
Well, that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
But okay, so
one thing never say though, can I say something? Never say that you're new.
Okay.
I don't. So when being a judge, I never like someone to say, this is my first competition. It automatically means, or like, I'm new. I'm like I'm supposed to forgive you for something. And it also tries to say, it also says to them, I think, it says like, I'm too green to win, or
I'm nervous and I'm just letting you know.
Right. Yeah.
So
don't use it as a crutch.
So, okay. So then is there a suggestion that you would suggest someone who is new that like, they're like, oh God, I'm watching this. That was my opening line. So what would you suggest them say? And I'm not saying to give them their dialogue, but like, kind of like, because instead of them saying, I'm new, I'm,
you wouldn't say, okay, you wouldn't go like you're applying for a job at Subway, the sandwich company. You wouldn't go in and say, I've never made a sandwich before, but I can do this job. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you've done drag before. Like every contestant has done drag before. This probably isn't your first time that you've been in drag. So you know what you're doing.
Sure.
So don't go in there and tell them that you don't know what you're doing. It's just when you're applying for a job, you know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You know why you're there. You don't have to say, I'm new. It's because one, it doesn't tell the judges anything about you.
Sure. And you know what I love that you've said it multiple times in that is that you're applying for a job, yes. Right? Yes. And so this is your moment to tell them why you're good for the job. Right. This is your interview for the job. Right. So it's great to tell these fun stories, but you want to get to a bunch of questions and more job related and the business aspect of it too, because how are they going to know that you are going to take the reins of the year to come and build the business, right? Yes. And I talked about that a little bit last time, because I just think as I grow within myself and with the system, I realized that I didn't know that at first, that, I'm thinking, oh, it's a pageant. Let me tell you a little about me. I'm a nurse and all this fun, like things about me. But then it's like, okay, but there are also other things that I do have as skill sets that I've already had before I even started the system that I want you to know about. So when you're looking at my resume, you're like, okay, we can vision what this year is going to look like.
Absolutely. And people love to hear ideas. So a lot of answers, when I'm a judge, I ask for, do you have an idea? Because I was tired of hearing like, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, I'm great with people. Like that, those funny answers.
Yeah.
And like, I'm great with people and why. This is what I've done. This is what I do.
Right. When you said, oh, do you have an idea? Do you really just say, hey, do you have an idea at random, or do you say, do you have an idea
I build it into the question. Like,
got it. Okay.
How do you plan to build the Miss Gay America system? And a lot of people would be like, well, I plan to bring lots of people to my step down.
Sure.
But how do you do that? So usually I will tag on to the thing is, do you have an idea how to build our system? It doesn't even have to be a great idea. Just say something like, I think we need more internet presence. I think we need to be better at our social media. Everything's social media now. Mm-hmm. And our Miss America social media isn't the greatest. You know what I mean? We can really, really add to that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I think that's very good advice. Like just the pure fact of treating this like you're showing them a little bit of your resume, but also if you're gonna, I love the point that you said, if you're gonna bring something up, tell them why.
Why?
Don't just bring something up. Or even if you're just saying, oh yeah, my favorite color is blue. Don't just say your favorite color is blue. Say why your favorite color is blue. It doesn't have to be a plan for the future. Just explain what you're talking about so then they can grab onto it a little bit more. And I like that. So are you a handshaker? Do you shake hands when you go in?
It used to be a rule, but now they prefer not to. I think the whole pandemic thing got rid of the handshake, but it used to be like they used to it was like a law. Yeah.
Now, like if you forgot to do it, you could get points.
Yeah, it would be like, oh, what? Yeah.
So how do you feel about if someone comes in and says, hi, can I shake your hand?
I mean, there's no judge taking out points for that here or, near or there. But if it does something better to you, I think it's better when they, like, if the contestant knows all the judges' names and they just happen to say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. Like, if you just said thank you and knew their name, I think that's a lot more impactful than that handshake. So once you get the judges list and then know their names, that's really something.
Don't tell everybody all the secrets. I got to keep some for myself. I'm just kidding. But you're absolutely right. It's the details. And I love that. And, I think at the end of the day, if you're just being your authentic self walking in, right? And just blowing off some of the nervousness while you're pacing back and forth in the lobby, that when you go in your authentic self, just say what you know, right? Because if you start saying things you don't know, everyone else is going to know that as well. And just have fun with it. And meaning like what I'm saying is if I don't know the judges' names, I'm not going to try and figure out their names on the spot right there. You know what I mean?
Then don't do it. But to me, it's just more impressive than going up and shaking their hand and saying thank you. You can say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And with a name, I think that is a good idea.
So one more thing with interview, I guess, because I definitely want to try and get to a couple more categories. But so when a contestant comes in and when it comes to the attire, because we talk about suitability and we talk about, looking the part for the interview. One, have you seen anything, like, is there anything outlandish where you'd be like, oh, don't do that? / what would your, how do I say it? Like dream look would be?
I'm really into fashion, so I like something a little bit fashion forward, something that when I look back at your interview, I remember that. Oh, remember him? He wore that great green suit. I don't really like a casual looking look.
Okay.
I think this is a pageant. You're there to stand out. You should look good.
So my question with that too is there a point where you're standing out too much? Like what would be something that's too much so people know?
I mean, I think
like I wouldn't walk in with a light up suit and light up shoes and be like, here I am.
I mean, you need to apply to the masses too.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so you're going to be, if you're in fashion, you're not trying to push an envelope over here, because there are different types of judges. So you're trying to get 5 people to like something.
Sure.
So I would have say something on, like a standout. And then, like Chanel said, like put, take the last accessory off or, simplify yourself, but have a say something shirt or a say something blazer or a say something tie, and then keep everything else modern. Yeah.
And you know what I love about that too is that you do the say something, and then maybe if you don't have anything that you can't think of anything to say, tell them why you picked your say something.
Yes.
Right? Like that could be fun. That could be fierce. Okay. I love that. And I like that you just kind of like brought in the fact that like it's okay, you don't have to wear that tuxedo or that suit and tie and look
No.
so like
Definitely not. No. Yeah.
cookie cutter, right?
But
So
I
let's
think
talk
it should
about
be an elevated look. It shouldn't be something that, yeah, it shouldn't be jeans. It shouldn't be khakis. It should be something that you're going to win something in. You know what I mean? Like,
I love it.
you should look like a prize.
You're gonna win the job. You're gonna win the job because you did
Done.
the best interview ever. And 7 minutes are up, and they knock, 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 and you're out the door.
Right? Yes.
I love that. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
Oh gosh.
You know what? Let's shift gears for a little bit because I did go some of the categories. I want to talk about the fact because I don't talk about it because we talk more focused on the categories. That as a new contestant or new contestant coming back in the dressing rooms, there is dressing room rules.
Yes.
And they should be posted, and it's very important to know what they are because everyone's watching you,
Yes.
right? And everyone's looking for a way to take a point away. And I actually will say always and forever in any category, including in the dressing room, don't give any opportunity to lose a point because points are very important because it's a part of the percentages now. And like 1 point could just take you to a different percentage and then you didn't win because of that 1 point.
Right.
So let's see what it says here. It says smoking will not be allowed.
Obviously.
So we're out.
I don't know. Everybody has the jewels now.
I know, but they can't do that in there either, right?
No.
Only one assistant, meaning your dresser, at one time. I do always like to mention that the rule is 2 talents before, correct?
Yes.
Is when your dancers are allowed to come in and get themselves together. And that's something to note because when you're trying to navigate your looks and how things are, it's important that the dressers can get themselves together or the dancers can get themselves together in that little window of time.
Well, I always give them a bag. They each have their own bag and they can take it wherever. They can get dressed as far in advance. I always like them to be dressed before they come back to the stage. So that's all we have is like the 2 talents to get ourselves together. Do you know what I'm saying? Become a team back there. You know what I mean? I'm ready. They're ready. We talk about stuff. We have like some positive interaction between each other. We hype each other up. Stuff like that.
I love that. And that's great advice.
So,
that's great advice.
Take those. I mean, really, it's only so it's 12 minutes, really.
Right.
To just come together as a team, talk about stuff, do a little hype up in the back and say,
I love this. And there's, that's the best moment.
Remind them that you're appreciative of them.
Yeah.
Like, instead of getting ready.
That was very good advice for everyone that's watching, that if this is your first time doing the pageant and you have dancers, make sure they're getting ready before they come back, because then you have that moment of taking your couple cleansing breaths, having a camaraderie moment, and then doing the thing that you've been practicing for weeks.
Put all their stuff on a hanger, all of their stuff together on one hanger in one of those clothing racking bags, and write their name on it. And at the beginning of the pageant, have your dresser hand them out. Here you go. Here's your stuff, all ironed and everything. Are
you a Virgo? Because I'm
a Leo.
That's a very Virgo thing. Okay, and your name is here. And did you check off? Did you sign off the list that you took your bag so I can get it back and check you off? That's a me thing.
Yeah.
Which no one has to do that, but I probably will every time. I do. How about? Can you want to talk about food and drink in the dressing room?
I mean, you're only allowed clear water. You know, like have your food. Make sure you eat before, because I'm always starving in a pageant. So yeah, just don't do anything that. I never have time to have food or drink. I was like, drink? What's that? Of course, my mouth is dry all the time.
Right.
All you can have is clear water. So.
And there's one drink station.
Right.
That you can leave your stuff on, which because it's important, because if you get caught with your drink, you could get deducted points.
Definitely.
I think that's kind of it. There's definitely just a list, and I just wanted to make sure I made mention, because I'm diving now deeper into the pageant day, and it's just important to know that there are rules, that there are standards that
And
America is looking
be
for.
respectful of everybody else in the dressing room too. I think this is where you're making friends.
Mhm.
And if you lend somebody a bobby pin or help somebody out, trust me, it's just going to be better in the long run.
Well, as the reigning Miss Congeniality of 2024, I didn't give anybody a bobby pin. I'll tell you that
No,
much right now.
you're
I
kind,
was just loving everyone up.
loving, yeah.
I kind of want to talk real quick about, I know I'm deviating, but we're talking about the dressing room. And so it sounds like you have this plan of like everything has a home, right? So you're
Yeah.
more organized, because I think that that's something that can help you
Mhm.
when you're implementing the night, right? So you have, and so like what I do is I have bins for each category.
So do I. Yes.
And so, it's so bad sometimes. I don't care if it's just shoes, jewelry, and a thing. I will have a bin, because when you start mixing things together and it's the heat of the moment and you're in the rush, you start to scramble and you can lose a belt, or can't find a shoe,
Right.
or your tights have a run in it and you need another one. You can't find them,
Yeah.
right? So you do the bins. Is there anything else you do for?
I do luggage bags.
Okay.
Everything's in luggage.
Okay.
The small luggage bags. And I also ask my dresser, who's usually my husband, to take it to the car when we're finished. So it's just out of the way, gone.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Gone.
You Virgo? I know you're not a Virgo, but I love it. I know a Leo's just as good. But I'm the same way, like clean as you go, because you know what? The last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that crown dress on and just sit there.
Yep.
And know that after I win,
and I'm always the one ready, like 3 hours before everybody else. I'm like just sitting there, like.
I love
like,
it.
what happens if something falls apart?
And you know what? You're ready. And those are things that I think that you learn as you do the game, right? And I say a game meaning like it's strategic. You have to be strategic about what you're doing so it can be seamless.
Yes.
Such as like your talent. You said you have to practice because you want it to be seamless, so you're just enjoying yourself. So if you've prepped each bin and your lists and things like that, and you go through it with your dresser, and you have a practice round, a run through of how you're getting dressed and whatnot, it makes you enjoy that moment a little bit more than just panicking, being like, I need this, I need this, I need this, right?
Pageant day is always fun. You know what I mean? It's just you have everything to win. You know, not rushing around trying to build a hair or make things like that. I mean, sometimes I'll add rhinestones to stuff and stuff like that I need to do for my own sanity.
Sure. I get
could
you.
have went on stage fine, but I'll just do it
just because I get it.
My hands busy, but
sure. Yeah, and you know what? I like how you said like this is the time to have fun, right? And it's like why I understand it's a pageant and it's a competition and you want to be the winner. And there's sometimes a lot of time, money, and people that are invested in it. So I get the stressor of it because I've lived it, you've lived it. But I also like to revert back to if this is supposed to be fun. So if you're not having fun, why are you doing it? You know, in my mind.
Yeah.
And that's why I truly, truly, truly stand by the Miss Gay America system, because there's so many opportunities to allow yourself to have fun,
right?
To allow yourself to be authentically yourself. Right. There's a lot of support there, and that's why I'm just on that fun train.
Yeah, and just remember you're competing against yourself, so you're gaining all the points. Like
I was going to say, can you explain, because people say that, everyone hears
yes,
formers or other people say that, but can you explain what that means?
So I mean, I think the best way to say it is it's like Super Mario, you know, like Luigi, like you're playing with other people on a game and you're collecting coins. It's the same exact way. It's your strategy of collecting the most coins. It's your strategy of collecting the most points to win the pageant. So to me, it's staying as clean as possible. And you also have to be entertaining. Yeah. And you also have to be very likable. So to me, Miss America and Miss Pennsylvania, the one thing that you have to put in your mindset, you have to be likable. People have to want you to win. You're representing a community of people.
Mhm.
So when the judges like you because you've won over their hearts, it's so much easier to win the pageant.
Sure. I discussed it in an earlier episode about how when this is the job, right? And there's a percentage of you being on stage as wearing the crown, but there's so many other larger percentages that you're not, and you're engaging with people
Yeah. That's
a lot.
that's the why male interview is so important. It's the only time you actually get to talk to the judges one-on-one. It's the
Mhm.
only time they get to know what type of person you are and if you can really carry on the job.
Sure.
And it's your chance there to get them to be like, wow, I like him. He can definitely do the job.
Sure. Sure. Are you talking about me? Is that-
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just curious. Okay, so let's just bop into gown real quick.
Sure.
So I always like to talk about the two main, well, I guess the two main things would be the 3-point triangle and what do you do with your hands. Okay. And I think because that's always my nervousness. Like I always feel weird. Like I'm like, oh, you know how like that moment where you're like, oh, I'll just put my hand right here, you know? And so is there any tips or tricks that you can give? We'll start with the hands.
Sure. My drag, when I was growing up in the drag community, it's, I've been doing drag for 25 years. So, and I started at Miss Gay America. So like I've been raised to become Miss Gay America practically. Sabrina White is my drag mother. And I was taught that you never raise your hands above your waist.
Mm-hmm.
So you never touch here.
Mm-hmm.
It's only, you can follow up your hips. You never touch your breast or your shoulder or.
Is that the way it is still? Is that still?
I still follow it.
Sure.
I don't. To me, Miss America is when you come on stage, you're supposed to look like you are approachable.
Yeah.
It's not like a diva who's the fiercest of them all competition. It's like, oh, I want to go up to her and say hi to her. She looks like she could be wearing a crown. She looks like she's nice and kind and
Mm-hmm. So I shouldn't walk around. I shouldn't walk around like
this. Your stuff like
yeah. Yeah.
is kind of unapproachable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a modeling competition. It's, we're judging you on how you're going to present yourself as Miss Gay America.
Yeah.
That's how I think in my head.
Sure. Okay, so I've talked a couple times now about that's the reverse triangle 3 points.
Yes.
And my advice always is you hit your 3 points, you pose, and then you move, and then you can kind of do your own thing. It's a little free. And I always talk about how you do not just bop around the stage, right?
Right.
Sorry, my it's my grandmother's clock, so I got distracted from it because I had to give her a little hello and shout out to her. So after you hit your 3 points, and I talked about it last episode, where if you just take your time and you hit those 3 points,
you should be done.
Your time.
I'd like to go to the center of the stage and just give a little thank you. Thank you. Like a little one down the center.
Sure.
After the 3.
So I do have a question because I actually am asking for myself as well. Sure. So because I think I think you were judging me at that point too, 2 years ago, and when I did my walk, I did the 3 points, and I kind of just kept in the 3-point moment, but then I ended up on the one side of the stage. I wasn't in the center. Now, when they said, okay, well, that was your contestant number 7, Morgan, do you just kind of like stand where you're at and give them that final pose, or do you make yourself back to the center?
I probably would have I would have made myself back to the center.
As they're kind of as you hear the closing
Yes.
thoughts or
Yeah.
words or
Kind
whatever.
of like, okay, now start walking back to the center and then walk off. Yeah.
Heard.
I mean,
Okay.
do it in a, you don't want people waiting for you. Like, why is she still there? You don't want them to be like, what is she, dumb? They
Right.
called her off.
She
Just
can't follow.
do it. Just say thank you so much. Like, I definitely look at all the judges and I'm like, thank you, and then just walk off.
Sure. So after you do your beautiful 3-point walk and you keep your hands at a nice waist level and don't kind of like flash, move with your body, right?
Okay.
And I actually enjoy that verbiage of it because you don't want to flash yourself. You want to move. You want to just have fluid movement,
Right.
Because you're kind of selling the gown too, right?
Yeah. Just try not to be stiff with your hands. You still want to walk. Move your hands elegantly while you're walking down. Yeah. And I think you can touch your hip, and I don't mind like a hip hug or a diva pose or whatever.
Sure. So we did that, and then we smiled at the judges and we made eye contact. The crowd went wild because you look sickening in your gown. So after I personally made it back to the center of the stage when they said thank you, contestant number 7. So what happens next is that the proctor will come out and they will now steer you into, well, depending on the system, but they'll take you normally to the question and answer on stage.
Yes, if you're in top 10, yes.
If you're in top, when whomever is watching is in top 10. Yes. So when you get to that point, they say to you, would you like to introduce yourself? And you're in front of the stage.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for that?
I think it's also a great moment to show that you know who is talking to you out of respect. It's probably a Miss America or in your case, maybe a former Miss Pennsylvania. So maybe it's Anjanou. I think Anjanou's watching. Hi, Anjanou. I would be like, thank you very much, Anjanou. And then, maybe just, say something to them like, thank you so much, Anjanou. Oh my gosh, you look beautiful tonight. And then it's just personality. Like, you're respecting a queen that's already won the competition. And I just think it shows royalty, and
I love that.
Yeah.
So you would say, like, aside from saying a little bit about yourself, because you kind of got to give a little bio to the crowd, the crowd, the audience.
And then you would do your bio after that.
But I like how you said, like, point out the judges a little bit, give them the respect because they are there. They're selected for a reason, right? I think that's brilliant, and I might take that in. I'm gonna put that in my pocket. So with the bio, what are your thoughts like about, because you have your little bio thing that you do for your personal interview. Do you suggest doing the same thing or do you change it up?
No, the judges have already heard that. So I would change it up for sure. Right. This is a time where I would say something cute or say something sweet to somebody's in the audience. Maybe your lover's in the audience. Maybe your mother's in the audience. Maybe your best friend from Chicago that you haven't seen in a while, or thank the audience for being here. And I really well up when I'm like, I'm here for the audience. I'm here for you guys. And I really appreciate that you're here supporting the Miss Gay America system. Something simple like that.
Yeah.
Really goes a long way.
Yeah. And the best part is of that whole portion, it's not scored. No. You can say whatever you want.
But say it confidently and say it royal.
And professionally too. I get it. But it's nice because that's a moment where you can, because everyone in drag has had that experience of being on a microphone and saying hello to an audience and people and your peers in front of you. So this is just something you're doing in this setting, so it's just I think, what I love about it, it's a moment for me to take a deep breath before I know I'm going to have to look at these questions and answer a question.
The one thing I don't like it when everybody does it, hey guys, how are you doing? And expect them to clap. I don't think that's the moment.
That's not the tea for that.
Yeah, everybody does it, and the crowd's just like, yay again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, but that's good advice because you know what? New contestants and maybe returning contestants don't realize that's something that might be okay to omit.
Right.
from the moment, right? Because you don't want to, we keep saying you want to be authentically yourself. And great, I'm sure you're authentically yourself saying that when you're on like on a stage doing a show, like or a brunch or whatever. But if everyone's doing it, then it gets a little monotonous, right? So say things that make you shine, shine, shine. That's what I always say.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I could talk to you for hours. We're already at an hour. It felt like it went really fast. We went, okay, so did we cover everything? Personal interview, talent, on stage question, and gown. We kind of like went through everything. Is there any advice that you would give a new contestant, one gem for them to take with them on their journey?
It costs more money to lose than it does to win.
Can you explain that?
To me, like, to do something right, just do it all the way right. Because if you just throw your money at a junk gown, if you throw your money at a junk talent, don't put money into something that's junk. And also plan far, far, far in advance. Like, you have to stay ready. Like, I have, don't get it done 3 months. Like, don't order a dress 3 months before the pageant. Get it done. Like, you know what's happening. Do it now.
Yes.
Like, don't wait till the last minute. Even though the designer says they can get it done,
I agree. So if I was going to ask you, if you had one little gem for a returning contestant, would you say the same thing, or is there something else that you maybe suggest to a returning contestant?
I hope that you reinvented yourself, because the pageant is always changing. Don't come back and think that it's the same pageant, that I can do the same things.
Yeah.
So you really have to. So I hope in the time that you took away, you really kept up with the pageant and learned and learned and learned.
Sure. And I know we're spilling over and over on time, but I do want to, because you brought up a very good point about, as you reflect, and we'll just, as far as if it's a returning person or something that a new contestant can look forward to, that after you're done the pageant, and a lot of times it's usually the top two, but it could be depending on how many people are competing. But you can get your score sheet, you can get your critiques, and it's important to get your critiques, because that's what you go off of things that you maybe can improve on or keep, because the critiques are not just negative. There's lots of positives in there too. So, and that's another thing I love about this system, is that there's time taken to actually break down the day, because it's a long day, but it's important to, why it's fresh in your brain, break it down, so then you can then really digest and like take a step back and then reinvent your wheel or evolve your wheel. Because, and I like what you said, that the America system is constantly evolving and changing, right? We have the Femme division that's coming this year. Like, there's so many. There's
Drag in general, I think, is changing all of the time. And
very true.
A fear for me is to look dated. Like, oh, she looks dated.
Right, because you are the face of the system, right? So I love it. I love it. I love that you spent time with me. I love talking to you. I think this is the longest I've gotten you to talk to me. This is amazing. I know. This is amazing. So I was going to, and you even helped me and gave me on stage questions. But let's just pretend, because I've done this every single time. This will be my seventh and luckiest time. Your on stage question, if I'm allowed to ask, is, what does the symbol of excellence mean to you?
What does the symbol of excellence means to me? To me, it means that when I won, I knew that I achieved a major goal in my life. That, I do drag on a regular basis. So when I achieved that title, it means that I moved up a step. It was just, I did it completely for myself. So, that's it. It was a very selfish thing to become Miss Gay America, even though I loved it, and I hope that I helped other people along the way. But I really did it for myself, just to prove that I could.
I don't think that's selfish at all. You're raising the bar for yourself, and that is excellence.
Yes. And
Because
then you have another step, and then another step, and then another step. And
Mhm.
yeah,
I think that's
your life
brilliant.
should be full of steps and achievements and goals. And yeah,
I usually say life is a bunch of plateaus, so you're always going up. But sometimes you just stay on that plateau a little longer than maybe you want to, but you're never going down. You'll always go up.
right.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
spending
you.
your time.
This was fun.
I had the best time, and I look forward to doing more of these, and I hope you get to come back. I hope you come
Oh,
back.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, I appreciate you so much, and I hope the best for you.
And as you're playing for Miss Gay America, I hope I can help you out.
So I have a question. So the people that are watching, can they message you and ask you for advice?
Of course, yes,
I
definitely.
love that. I love that. All right,
Yeah,
I'm going to tell
message me on
everybody.
Instagram or Facebook,
I'm
whatever.
going to give everybody your information. Don't worry.
My phone number. That's why you don't have my phone number.
I was going to ask you what that's it. I'm getting your number. Well, thank you again so much. I'm going to say goodbye and I'm going to continue to gush on you over you as I wrap this up.
Thank
Thank you
you.
again so much. Have a great rest of your
Bye.
night. Thank you. Oh my goodness. What a fantastic, fabulous hour. And Dora, I told you, she is a wealth of knowledge, that one. She has been in the game, she said 25 years. And she did tell me that she competed for her prelim. I don't want to give her too much of her information, but she did compete for her first city prelim multiple times before she got to her state prelim and then to nationals. So just people out there watching, don't ever give up on your dreams, because it is very important to just raise that bar for yourself and be relentless and get what you want. But thank you again so much for tuning in. I hope you picked up a couple gems from this episode. I have another episode coming up. I believe it is in 2 Thursdays from now. I will be posting, and I will post the surprise next guest that we have coming up. But I just want to remind you that this Saturday, July 27th in Harrisburg, is the Miss Gay Harrisburg America pageant. And we have that happening at Temple Fire Company Ballroom. Tickets are on sale now, so definitely go check them out. And if you're looking to compete, you can come on Saturday and compete if you have your package ready. If not, you can also apply to, or put your application in for August 17th. That's Miss Gay Gettysburg, America, as well as August 31st, which is Miss Gay Pittsburgh, America. And I know if you're a fan, which I know you are because you're watching and you love the Miss Gay America system and you love being a part of that true excellence, come see me at my step down on November 16th. That's at Sunnybrook in Pottstown. Thank you again for tuning in tonight. I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to see you in a couple weeks. Have a good night.